Namaste, ma'am. How are you doing today?
Doing well, thank you.
Excellent, excellent. So let's begin our interview today. And as a starting question, could you give some brief introduction about how yoga entered your life and what made you stay with it?
Okay. So before starting with yoga, I was working as an educator, and it was in one of the international schools in my city. And it was a 9 to 5 job, but truly speaking, I could not resonate with it. 9 to 5 hours job, but beyond that, it was lesson planning, checking, meeting these deadlines of submissions, and somehow what I felt was I was not enjoying in any way.
Mhm.
There was something that clicked me that, okay, there is something else that I can do, but not this. I'm not saying that that job didn't had any meaning. It was definitely very meaningful, but I could feel that it's not something I would do for the entire life.
Mhm. We could all relate with that, probably as a yoga teachers. Once you get a taste of yoga, you can't be anything else.
Yes, true, very true.
And another question was that how you choose yoga as a full-time career.
Okay, so yes, as I was working as an educator, I thought that the exhaustion was too high because lesson planning also included lots of working on screen, reading through so many books, and I used to feel as if I have become an author.
Mm,
So I was feeling overwhelmed with that, and with that overwhelming feelings, I started going to yoga classes in my city.
mhm,
So initially, it started with a physical practice. Definitely, when your body is moving, you are breathing, you are controlling and regulating your breath, so you feel everything. But after 2 3 years, I there was some inner calling or something like that. I'm not sure what was it, but there was a strong desire that yes, I can continue this path for very long in my life.
mm,
So then I still remember it was COVID time, and I was approached for one pranayam batch,
mm,
and it was completely online. And
mhm.
after that batch, the studio people, the studio owners, they really appreciated my work. And after that, I had even strong desire of knowing this path beyond asanas.
Oh, yeah, that's
So
great.
yes, so I can say this one thing that people always say that whatever you desire, universe always blesses you with that. So the same thing happened with me. I had very strong desire to have an enlightened guru in my life who can teach me, who can guide me on this path of yoga beyond this asana practice.
Mm,
So that happened with me. I got landed up in the spiritual tradition named as traditional yoga, and under the guidance of my Guruji, Dr. Vrusha Kapiji, really I got to know the depths of yoga.
mm,
And since then, I started teaching as well. The first batch was just the pranayam batch, but then it was asanas, it was counseling, it was transforming people, it was working on their mindset, and so many other aspects of yoga came up.
mm. That's excellent to hear, ma'am.
Thank
I can see that it's also changed you as a sadhaka first, then again you have started to change others' lives too.
Yes,
Repeat.
yes, definitely. I truly agree with what you say because one incident I'm just sharing.
Yes, ma'am.
Uh, I was already in the tradition, so I was working as a mentor there. I cannot say I was working, I was just offering my services as a mentor.
Mm,
And during that time, some of my fears, which I wasn't aware of, it came up.
mm,
So they were there at some level. surface level where I was not knowing them or where I was not paying attention to them. They might be since very long in me, but it was during that time that it suddenly popped up to very high levels. And that was the time when the the real essence of surrender I came to.
Mm.
And now it is surrender or faith. These are not the words for me. They are the real experience that I have lived.
I see. Yeah. So it was just a follow-up question for that. Like when, as a new teacher, I too face certain fears, and not just a teacher, as a yoga practitioner itself, some like challenges. Is it working, or doubts, or will I be a good teacher? So, was there any time that you felt that this might not be my path, but still push through it to become a successful teacher that you are now?
Initially, I can say I can divide that time into two zones. So initially, I was, yes, definitely pushing myself. I realized that very soon that unnecessarily I'm pushing myself. And later on, I even realized that this is not something that I am.
Mm.
So, what can I do then? If I'm not this, then what can I do? I need to remove this layer.
Mm.
And this is what I realized, that yoga is not about becoming everything or becoming something. It's more of removing anything that you are not.
Mm. Mm.
So that layers I removed, and
Mm.
then I could sense the taste of authenticity,
Mm.
being authentic with self,
Mm.
being authentic with others as well.
Mm. Authenticity. That's a excellent word of self-discovery,
Yes.
finding your true self. Um, and how do you, as a teacher, do you push this ideologies, or like not push in the sense, do you put the seeds of these ideologies into the uh, students? How will you make them experiences? Can you teach, can you tell me one or two best practices that you follow?
Sure. So mostly, like I have handled kids, I have worked with senior citizens, men, women, all kinds of age groups and everything. But the highly where I resonate is with women.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it might be because I am the one who has transformed myself, and then I stick to this transformation throughout my entire life. And then, when you see someone in that stage, you want to save that person.
Mm.
Okay, it is like a kind of parenting, also you can say. Mentoring was such type of work that I went through, and
Mm.
similar thing happens with yoga teachers as well. So at times it happens that women, they are going through a lot, and they don't realize certain things. It comes from their self-sacrificing nature. It comes from lack of deep connection with their own selves. It comes from various kinds of patterns and conditionings. Certain conditionings are like given from the parents itself. It's like if I have a daughter, the way I am with my husband or the way I'm treating my daughter, she will pick up those patterns. And when she grows up, she will be like that.
Mm.
Okay, now until and unless she realizes that she is in a form of conditioning, that
Mm.
she is being growing up, and she breaks that conditioning, things will not change.
Mm.
But once she understands that, she can decide whether she wants to continue with the same conditioning or she wants to decondition the entire program that she has been carrying from her parents or her life experiences.
Mm.
So one thing is that. Second thing is that always giving that space for students to grow, because
Mm.
no doubt for me and for yoga teachers this path is more spiritual. But for a normal person, this is just a practice, a physical practice to become healthy. Now, unnecessarily, I cannot push the spiritual concepts there.
Yeah.
Right. So whenever I feel that, okay, someone is struggling and it can be changed with some spiritual aspect, then that person can inculcate this aspect of spirituality with simple habits. Let's say, for example, in my tradition, we do Avalokiteshvara practice. So in entire world, it is known as gratitude practice. Okay. And people, like many of us, we have done this journaling, gratitude journals, writing and all that in our school days as well. But over time, how well do we understand this? It has not become, now it is not a practice. It has become my nature. So this is something that a spiritual teacher can bring into any class as well. So it happens that sometimes my students, they have some sort of pains coming up from their bodies. So these pains are because they are holding on to something. So let's say, for a very brief example, if you are not able to sleep at night, it clearly says that you are holding on to something. But when you leave that, when you release that through any practice, whether gratitude practice or any other limb of yoga, when you practice that, naturally you fall asleep very soon.
I see. That's really at fixing the root of all the problems that the modern youth is going through, to overthinking, anxiety, depression.
Yes. The other reason is the generation has become very instant, like Instagram.
Yeah,
yes. The attention span is too less.
Yes, ma'am.
Earlier, the movies were very long.
That's
but
true.
Now the movies, except this Dhurandhar, all other movies, if you see, they are of very short time
Very
span.
short time. Yeah, like first people go through the short preview of the movie, then only they decide to spend.
Yes.
And in this regard, like I want to understand your point of view in yoga as a slow process. The most, is it a, do you think it's a myth or is it a true? Because people crave instant results, whereas yoga takes time. What's your opinion on this one?
Yes, definitely. Yoga is something that takes time in healing everything deeply. But each and every limb has different results to show up. Like if we analyze today's time of modern yoga time that I'm talking about, most of the social media, if you see, it's all full of asanas, pranayam, meditation, asanas, and majorly asanas only, right? So I'm not saying they are ignoring the other limbs of yoga, but asanas is something you can see immediate results. Okay. Whereas the other things, like let's say dharana practice or dhyana practice, so it comes gradually. When we practice that, our heart rate comes down, our breath rate comes down. And samadhi is like, there are different types of samadhi as well. If I'm practicing dharana and I'm entering into Turiya Avastha, then that is, for me, it is like a form of samadhi only, where I'm totally withdrawn of my senses. My mind is not working. Right? Like in short, nowadays, this has become a practice of Shavasana or Yog Nidra. So that is why people feel that relaxation. And see, it is so instant. Right? You don't need to wait for so many months. You can get to know in just few minutes. After every deep relaxation practice, the body and mind feels so good. Right? So that is something like every limb of yoga has some time gaps.
Time gaps.
Some things show immediate results, whereas certain things can be time consuming.
That's true. Yeah, we have to like inspire students to say that some things take time, but when it happens, it's going to be a good thing in your life changing totally.
Yes. And there is one myth also connected with this. So people feel that if you do yoga, you feel good.
Mm.
I would say this from my personal experience. So if you remember in starting, we were talking about how when I was already in the spiritual tradition, I'm still a part of it. And during my mentoring period only, it became so difficult because my fears were rising.
Mm.
Right.
Yeah.
So there is a time when yoga can make you uncomfortable as well. You
Mm.
you cannot say that yoga is always something that makes you feel good only. When you are sitting for meditation also in that sense. So meditation sometimes uh, to be very frank, in my own personal experience, I have cried up during my meditation practice.
Mm.
So, because I might be holding something, and during my meditation, I started observing, I started seeing that thing so clearly
Yeah.
that it came as a feeling then. When you feel something, if you are touching a hot vessel, why you immediately take your hand away?
Yeah.
Because of that signaling, right? So, the same thing happens during certain practices of yoga when it can make you feel little bit of uncomfortable as well. Certain things which might not have left you or you are holding unknowingly, these things happen. But with the best thing is with this different limbs of yoga, we can work on this. We can become free of all these things.
Yes, ma'am. That's a really like true mindset how yogi should pursue yoga. So there is always a room for growth, even for as a teacher too. So here my follow-up question comes is since teachers also has a room to grow, uh, how would we handle questions from students that we haven't experienced yet? For example, or if a even in asanas, some students tend to ask, "Can you do handstand?" Like as a teacher, we can
Love
say,
this question.
"Yeah, we can't show it right away, but how can we answer such questions that we haven't experienced yet?"
Yes, I love this question
Mm.
because yes, nowadays it has again become a myth that any teacher who is bending and twisting like a rubber band, it is a misconception in an audience mind that
Mm.
she or he is the best teacher.
Mm.
Okay, so it is not like that. So again, speaking from authenticity, I can say that there are many asanas which I cannot do and which I don't even want to do.
Mm.
Like let's say pinch mayurasana.
Mm.
Okay, so I am not someone who wants to do that, and I am not even capable of doing that. No doubt, no doubt. I have tried these things earlier, and at that point of time, I was able to do it. I have done handstands and pinch mayurasana and other things like that. But now, after all these years, I don't feel that urge of doing that
Mm.
because main reason is understanding yoga from scientific perspective.
Mm.
So my Guruji, fortunately, he brings the science and spiritual connection together, and
Mhm.
I'm very blessed to learn from him. So we have understood one thing that when you are bending the body beyond its axis,
Mm.
beyond certain planes of movement, it is not good for the body. There is lots of wear and tear that is happening inside that might not come at that time, but it will show up in later parts of your life.
Mhm.
So let's say if I want to do pinch mayurasana, in today's times I do it with the help of chair.
Mm.
So the best part is I'm not applying that much resistance.
Yeah.
It becomes free of resistance, and the holding duration also increases. Where
Mm.
the normal without any support pinch mayurasana, if we do, it takes lots of effort. When
Yeah.
I apply that much effort, I'm applying that much resistance.
Yeah.
So now I'm bringing the science connection.
Yes.
So when you practice asanas this way, it is not about your strength. It
Yeah.
is about stress inside the body.
Stress inside the body. Yes.
Because cortisol levels, they start rising. Your body is under stress. You are fighting against your body to be in that position.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely it is not going to release good hormones. It is going to release stress hormones.
Yes, ma'am.
So the
Definitely.
signs, yes, so the signs of free radicals, the signs of cortisol levels, the signs of moving beyond the planes of movement, all this nowadays it is not happening only.
Mm.
इट्स लाइक से कहने को तो मतलब रबर बैंड को अगर आप ले लो तो
Yeah.
उसको भी अच्छे से स्ट्रेच कर सकते हैं,
Yes. Yes.
राइट, बट इफ आई कीप ऑन स्ट्रेचिंग इट इट विल टेयर आफ्टर अ पॉइंट ऑफ
Right.
टाइम.
Definitely. Yes.
Now that thing is still tangible, it is visible. What
Yeah.
happens inside, no one is aware as well.
Mm. That's true, ma'am. Very true. This idea can be applied to any other concepts too. Like if a student asks, like if you are teaching mindfulness, they might ask, "Look, have you managed to reach the
True, very true.
true source? Like, have you felt the Ishvara? Have you like
Yes,
have you
very
attained
true.
samadhi, nirvikalpa samadhi?" Then
True, yes. So, yes, I could not answer that part of your question. Either asana or any other
yeah,
practice of yoga, I would say that always be authentic. Something that you haven't done or you are not practicing, do not preach that.
mm,
So, being honest, that gains the trust of your students as well. And emotionally, it feels you are also at relaxed state because
yeah,
you don't have to impress anyone,
true. It
right?
puts a different type of pressure on us.
Yes.
What like at the same time we don't want to lose the student, but at the same time we don't want to give them false guidance.
Yeah. Initially, it happened with me as well. I still remember there was one lady from Dubai.
Mm,
She joined my class after someone recommended her, and seeing her results, she joined my class. So she's like, Dhara, I want to do power yoga.
mm-hmm.
And by that time, I already sensed one thing, that there is nothing like power yoga. There is only power of true yoga.
Yeah.
So, yes. So nowadays, yoga is being sold with so many names.
True.
So we cannot help with that because it has gone to wider range of audience. But what we can do, what is in my hands, if I'm uh, present on social media, I will try my best to deliver something which I truly believe in.
Mm-hmm.
Not because someone is doing, I will copy that, I will show the same thing.
Yeah, true.
This is also happening. People
Yes.
scroll down the yoga reels and post, and then they try to imitate that just to become famous.
Exactly. The challenges and everything.
Yes. So I would not say, like, I would not lie to myself. Definitely, I want likes. I want followers. I will not say that, okay, I'm posting, but I'm not concerned who likes my post and who follows and doesn't follow. No, it makes a very good difference in my life.
Mm.
I get motivated when people do that. So I would not lie there. But definitely, I will take charge of this, that, okay, whatever I post, I ask myself first, am I this one? Then only I post it.
Yes.
Otherwise, I don't post it.
That's really being authentic as a yoga teacher. That's also part of our yamas and niyamas to practice
Yes.
satya.
You are bringing amazing fundamentals of yoga. I'm just loving it.
Yes, ma'am. I feel like this is much needed as an affirmation for young teachers to stay honest and like and follow the path of true yoga rather than getting commercializing everything. It's a big
Yes.
trap.
Yeah, true. My Guruji sometimes he tells that if yogis have done everything for certificates only, there would not be any ancient yogi. And nowadays, everything has become for certificates, and it's all body show program. And truly speaking, say if it is only about asanas,
Mm-hmm.
if it is only about body bending,
Mm-hmm.
then have you seen those street performers
Uh,
who are walking and doing stunts on rope and doing cartwheels and all that? They can do much better stunts than.
it's acrobatic sort of.
Yes. So all that acrobatic stuff, they are much better than me. I'm not making fun of them.
Yeah.
I respect whatever they are doing, but selling that body bending in name of yoga is not something true. Yoga is more about mending the mind and
Mind.
not just bending the body. But today's times, it has just limited to that.
Yes.
We are ignoring the previous limbs also, like Yam Niyam, and
Yeah.
we are even not aware of the later limbs
Later
also,
then.
like Pratyahar, Dharna, Dhyana, Samadhi. We are
True.
just restricted to this
Asanas.
asana pranayama.
True. True. I think the most of the science is focused in the asanas and
Yes, yes.
the pranayama more. Like it talks about autonomous nervous system, relaxations. So that makes students get more engaged with it. And yeah, ma'am, rapid fire round now. So for 2 minutes. So, uh, what would you like, ma'am? Would you prefer a coffee or a herbal tea?
Herbal tea.
Herbal tea, excellent. And would you prefer hustle or stillness?
Stillness, and
Mm.
just to say here, if there is hustle, but
Yes.
still if you find your own peace now, then
Mm.
that is really different.
Mm-hmm. Okay, another question. Would you prefer to add music to your yoga class or just silence?
No music, only silence.
Silence. Okay. And what's the biggest yoga myth, do you think?
Biggest yoga myth, whatever we talked sounds like biggest myth.
Yeah.
And yes, and one of the biggest myth that I personally feel is people should approach some highly experienced gurus if they really want to taste the real essence of yoga.
Yeah.
It has history, it has science.
Mm-hmm.
It is rather an absolute science that cannot change like to modern experiments.
Yes.
Modern science is still 100 years old,
Yes.
but the ancient science, the science of dharma, the science of righteousness,
Yes.
okay, that is something it cannot change. It is like if you have understood the scriptures also well, the Mahabharata, the Ramayana, so the concepts can still apply really well in your own life as well.
Yes, ma'am.
So that cannot change. The laws of nature cannot change.
Cannot
Human laws
change.
can change.
Yeah, I think human perception also changes with time. It's not because we still have two eyes, but how we are seeing. Previously, we can see the stars and planets and count on the days, but now with all the light pollution, we can't see anything in the sky anymore. That means so much of distractions are blocking our physical eyes. Then mental eyes, the mind
Yes.
is also equally disturbed. That's realization is not there. Oh,
You
very.
remember, like when we were young kids,
Hmm.
we had those audio cassettes,
Yes.
rectangle kind of piece,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah. Yeah.
And when we put it for play, and if it doesn't work, we take it out and we
Turn it
rewire it.
back. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, rewire it.
Yes. So
Rewind.
here also, when we rewire things, it really works so beautiful. The process, the entire journey becomes so beautiful
Mm.
because with the practice of this yoga and yogic path, rewiring automatically happens. The only
Mm.
thing is that you have to be honest, you have to inculcate it as strong discipline in your life, be consistent,
Yes, ma'am.
and practice it in true sense, not just asana practice, body bending thing.
True, true. Very much true. But this is, I wish the more and more teachers like think like you and say these things to the students to make it true awareness of yoga. Like these days, it's mostly limited to asanas on the social media platform. So any student who comes, they'll expect the same from us too. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
thanks, Steven.
And
Yes.
what's one word that your student used to describe you? And
Their comfort.
comfort. Excellent. They picked the right word. You truly
Thank
give
you.
that motherly comfort and
Yes.
very nurturing
Yes.
guidance.
Yes.
Excellent. And
And
one,
it didn't just come like that. I am very grateful to my Guruji and my tradition for this.
mm,
Whatever I'm today, see, my parents gave me birth. They educated me, they gave me all the things which they could. But after that, when there comes a time when if you are taking human birth
mm-hmm,
and if you are not able to evolve in your soul, then now after all these years, I feel that the birth of humans' life is totally worthless.
true.
And people nowadays they act out of conformity. They don't use their minds. They
Mhm.
don't listen to their hypothalamus. My Guruji says this. These are not my words. So he always tells us that people are not. They are so disconnected from their soul,
Mm,
and so this happens with everyone. And earlier it happened with me also. So yes, I am comfort for my all students,
mm,
but it didn't just happen just like that. It was a journey that gifted me this title, though I am not entitled to anything. But this, I totally, I will give all the credits to my tradition, my mentors, my guru for that,
yes.
because it is their constant hammering, their constant working on me.
Mhm.
इसीलिए कहते हैं कि लाइफ में है ना मेंटोर्स बनाओ.
Mm,
So I was blessed enough that I got right at the right time. I got right mentors. They really they have made me shine like in this world of spirituality today. They are helping me. It's not about becoming famous,
yes.
but I can say I'm successful. And
Mm,
it's not on the graphs of money and all that I'm saying. I feel I'm successful because at least I'm aware that where am I going?
mm,
What am I doing? Why do I wake up?
yeah.
At least I'm clear of all these things. It's not a robotic program that I'm run by. I'm
Mhm.
totally aware that why things are happening. So
Yes.
I'm glad that I got their support. And because of them, I am today what I am for my students.
It's excellent to know your story, ma'am. And we are running out of time too, but you have given a wonderful message and what I personally could take in and also can provide that to my students as well. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste, ma'am.